Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. I'm here again doing my shop previews for the week. A lot of people find these interesting. I find them interesting too because it kind of sets up what it is that I'll be working on in the near term. And just to give you a good idea about the variety of the things that I see in my shop and which ones will make it to video. I try and extend to you the ones I think I'll put out on the videos, and then if you see something here that you find of interest that I may not have mentioned for a video, well then let me know, and I'll see if I can work that into the schedule as well. So a lot of good stuff just came in over the last few days. I thought I would preview with that before I get working on them. And so let's get started. And while we get started, I want to thank all of our first responders, those in law enforcement, our first aid, EMS, frontline workers, and essential personnel for all it is that you do, and helping keep us safe during the pandemic and help us get well if we've contracted the virus. Thank you so much for what it is that you do. Normally, I guess I would be worried about that, but I'm not right now. This is a basket case. I have a few of them this week. Here's Daiwa BG30, and first thing that's happened is the bail's come off. Now, I'm going to guess somebody took that off. It's missing a handle. It's got a plate that's been taped on it, so I'm not quite sure what in the world has happened with this reel. This may well be a basket case. This is turning very tight, and a fella asked me to come in and see if I could find a handle, was his first request, and then he said, you know, I'm not quite sure if this one even is going to be able to make it back, after he noted that the side case seems to have got a fractured piece in it and some other things. So we'll see what we can do. At a minimum, I think on this one, I haven't done this particular model, I think on this one at a minimum what we'll do here is we will go and take it apart, show you how the inside of this reel works, see if we can free this up a little bit. It looks like the bail spring is in here, so if I can find the bail screws, I'll go ahead and I'll show you how to reset the bail on that. And then what we can do on that side case remains to be seen. So that's a Daiwa BG30 that's come into the shop and will be worked on. But it's not the last of my parts reels. There's another one that was brought in recently. I'm not even going to attempt to take this one out of the bag. All I know is that it's a Pen 6.0. It's a high-speed version for the Senator. Somehow somebody's managed to work the spool gear or the pinion gear out of this one without disrupting anything else. That's kind of odd. But the whole thing is in pieces. I'm going to leave it in pieces in the bag. I've done the Senator 6.0s before, so I probably will not do a video on this one. But again, if there's an interest out there, if somebody wants to see how all these pieces and parts come together, let me know. There's a common problem in the next reel. This is an Ambassador. It's the 5500 C3. And this one has been fished heavily. It doesn't look like it. It's in good condition. It was made in Sweden. But has the problem that a lot of these have. You have a loose free spool release here, and you have it sticking. So sometimes you can press it down, sometimes you can't. When you can press it down, sometimes it never pops up. So we're not sure what we're going to do with this one other than take it apart and try and solve that. And because that's such a frequently occurring problem, this will, I suspect I will make it to video on this one to show you how you have to go about resetting this thing to get that free spool release to work again. So that's a project that's come up. Next one in, they're really challenging me this week. This is a Shimano Ultegra, and yep, it's in pieces and parts. So we're going to have to see what we can do about this one to get it back together again. Here's a problem. I have an open envelope. I have a second Shimano Ultegra, so this second time wasn't any better. This one's a smaller one, and it's in pieces and parts. And I have pieces and parts in the box that was sent to me. So this one's going to get real interesting. I'm not sure what I can do in this one to solve, but if I can, I know I've done a Shimano Ultegra before. I don't think I've done the smaller one. This one happens to have the schematic right on the side of the reel box. That's good for at least trying to line up the pieces and the parts that belong to this reel. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure that either one of these can be solved, but the fellow sent them in and asked me to give it a try. So we're going to go give it a try. And if I can find all the pieces and parts, we'll go ahead and do that on a video. One of them or the other, or both. So next up then, Brian sent me some reels. These came from South San Francisco, so I'm assuming he's fishing in the San Francisco Bay and maybe out in the Pacific Ocean. First one is the Triton 200G. It's a level line reel. It's a nice solid reel, been around a long time. This one needs some TLC. It's a little rough in the wind, and otherwise it looks good. I'm thinking this is probably just a matter of some servicing, some cleaning and greasing and the like. And then the other one of the best reels of all time. It's the Penn Long Beach 65. Bulletproof reel's been around forever. This one's relatively clean. This one feels like it has a bent spool. There's a skip to it. So when you do something like this and you find that you're just hanging at a certain point, it's either a bent spool or it's line stuck. Now I just pulled off this bearing was over tightened. This loosened up a little bit. So we'll see if we can get around that one or if we have to get a new spool to it. But I've done the 65, so I'm not sure that'll make it to a video. Next one comes in from Prakash out in Santa Cruz. Guess I'm getting a lot of these that are going coast to coast, us being on the East Coast. So let's see what we have here. First one up is it's a Shimano. It's the Magnolite, and generally it seems like a nice reel. I don't think anything's wrong with it, but we'll go give that a cleaning. I think he sent me about 6 reels, so hang on with this. Here is a Shimano 6500. He asked me to make sure that I can tune this one up. He knows it's missing the handle, so I'm going to assume he bought this one somewhere. Those handles just generally don't fall off. But if he bought it, or if he had it personally and something went wrong with it, then we'll find out. But we're going to take this one apart. I know I've done a video on it, so we'll see if we do another. Here's the 4500. He told me that one was coming as well, and somewhere in the box he tells me that there is the handle for this one. But that's the Bait Runner 4500. Two of the best Bait Runner reels ever manufactured, in my opinion. Then we have a small Daiwa. It's the 1000X. I don't think I've done one of these. This one seems like it's suffering from a lot of dried grease. It's hard to turn. But otherwise it seems to be okay, so we'll play around with that one. Then we have another Shimano here. This one is the Shimano 2000. It's the side stab. Another one of these quick release casting. I know I always try to show it the way you would cast it with a pole. You would use your forefinger. Fortunately, without the pole, it works the other way. But we'll clean that one up. That's 5. I think there's one more in here. Or maybe not. Yep, there's 5 reels. Okay, so 2 Bait Runners, which we've done work on. But if you want to see one of them, let me know. Daiwa 1000. 2 rear drag Shimanos, the 2000 side stab and the Magnum Light. And again, if you're interested in those, I think I've done a group of those already, but in that case, we will. Okay, next up is an eBay purchase. It's just one of those things you couldn't refuse. It didn't cost a lot. A whole bunch of parts reels, and I've just been doing these as kind of fun in the interim. The first one is a Bronson Comet. It's turning, and beautiful little teal handles on that one. A lot of rust. We'll see what we can do to clean that one up, make that one work. Here's one that I think all I'm going to need. This one's a South Bend 550. I have a lot of parts reels. I think the only one I'm going to need, I think all of this is going to work, except that it doesn't have the cap here for the other side. And I think one of my parts reels probably has that cap. Let's just give it a turn. Yeah, this one's turning. The crank is working fine. So I think if I can just find that cap here, that will be nice. Again, I've just taken to doing these just because they're fun, not because they're worth anything. Here is a, this is a Shakespeare Triumph model HF. So this is an interesting one. H in the series is a 1930s. So F, I'm going to guess is maybe 35, I don't know, somewhere around there. So this is a 1930s reel, and it's working. Enough said. We'll clean this one up for sure. And sometimes that's why I buy them, just because they're old. Here's a parts reel for sure. This is the Shakespeare Markov. There's an interesting story with the Markovs. The Markov was a competitor of Shakespeare for the longest time in the early part of the reel development. You can actually see, I can't read it there. It's a G series, so the G is the 1940s, which is after Shakespeare acquired Markov. This one is missing the level wind, but again, either this becomes a parts reel or I have the parts for it. I'm not sure. I have a bunch of these. I think the whole lot, they were less than $4 a piece when I got done with them. Here's a J.C. Higgins, so who knows who made that one. We just know it was made in the U.S. J.C. Higgins was a brand that was sold through Sears. And there's nothing going on here, but there are a lot of parts on that. That's probably not repairable at this point. Now we've got a Pfluger. This is the Pfluger Skill Cast. I've done these before. Looks like all that's needed here possibly is a handle. Let's see if we can turn that. You always want to make sure if you're purchasing a reel what you're getting for that reel, and in this case you want to see that the worm is turning, the line guide is moving. That's the most important part of these reels. So I think this is only suffering from the handle. You can see it's spinning here, so I think I may have a handle. If not, I probably will hold that one until I do. This the real gifts that just keep on coming, because this is what I bought for, was a whole bunch of parts. So who even knows what I have in here? I may be able to match some of the parts up to this. But again, I think I paid $4 a reel for these. And these are just fun diversions for my time, just to help me learn more as if and when I get the time. And then this last basket here, I traded my services for some reels. And they're not very expensive reels, but I told the fellow I'm going to use the reels for YouTube projects. So there you go. The first one up then is going to be a Shakespeare FX4. I'm sorry, it's a Shimano FX4000 rear drive reel, and it's working. Just dirty. It's this fella had a bunch of these reels just sitting in an old milk crate. He asked me to go repair a couple of reels that were higher value than these. And he asked me what I wanted, and I said, you know, we're friends. I said, I don't need much. Why don't you just give me some reels that I can go put up on YouTube and show folks how they're made and how they work and see what we can do? And he said, sure. So he gave me, I think it was 6 reels here. So this is a Cardinal 755 rear drag reel. It's Abu. Again, it's working. It's doing what it should be doing. And we have a stuck bail. We'll show you how to fix stuck bails, and hopefully we'll get that one running. Then there were 2 that they'll probably just go back to him to sell on the table. Folks ask me what I do with a lot of these. There's a Condor 555. Now, I'm going to be completely honest and transparent with this one. The only reason I picked this one up, I got a question on my channel about how the bail springs set in this one, and I did a video on one a while ago, and I can't recall, but I think this one has the same trip lever in it, so I'll be able to answer my viewer's question by simply removing that screw. I think we'll recondition this one. You can see the high level of dirt and dust from sitting in that crate for like ever. I imagine he probably got them from an estate sale or something, and they were just piled there. So next one up then is going to be a Daiwa. This is a long cast. Whenever you see a rocking spool like this, that means that the spool nut that holds the rotor on is loose right here. And I'm sure I can turn that one with my finger right now. I can, and that's what's causing the rock. So if you get a pattern on your line that looks like the figure 8 going high and low, it's because this is rocking. It's an uneven kind of a spool thing. This one only needs to have that nut tightened to correct that issue, but we'll probably do a video on this one. I know I've got a lot of requests for these rear drag reels lately, and we'll use that to service it. Okay, the two treasures in the lot. So here's a Cardinal C4 that has the old style Cardinal drag system on it. So this is a transition reel. It's not working very well, but I'm noticing that we have line that's captured under the spool here. And let's take the spool off and see. Yeah, okay. Well, there's a little bit of a skip, but there's also a loose case here. So I'm not sure if well, it's working better than I thought. I'm not sure what happened. Somebody went in there, probably didn't realize the line was trapped. We have sand in there. Maybe that's why they did it. But at any rate, that was part of the trade. It's a Cardinal. And those of us with the Cardinals are more familiar with the older versions of it. Here's an older 6X. Then this one has that rear drag as well. And then we should be familiar with the Zebco Cardinal as well. This is a 6. So these are the ones you usually see. But this one is the more modern version, if there's such a thing as a modern version on a 20 or 30-year-old reel. So we'll probably take this one apart, show you how it's made, how that drag system works there, and make a video out of that one. And then the last one, they're always my favorite reels. I have no idea who dumped this and how you can possibly get that much line on the bottom of a reel, but somebody did. And this, of course, is the Damn Quick. It's the Quick Finesse, and this one was made in Berlin, West Germany. It's been serviced before because the button's upside down, but other than that, you would hope that it would have been serviced. This thing is probably 30 or 40 years old. I'm not sure if I've done this model on the Finesse. If I haven't, we'll go ahead and do a video on that one. If I have, then you know, I may just do this one off to the side when I get a chance. But I have a certain fondness for the Quicks, and here's that same reel that's been tuned up and put back into condition. That one just kind of sits on my workbench just to remind me of the nice workmanship that's out there. So these are the previews. I got a lot of reels here. I also got a bucket of reels that belong to a charter boat that I have to work on, and I got a couple other client reels that I haven't showed you, but for the most part, that's what you're going to be seeing in terms of pandemic projects in the coming week or so. If you have a particular interest in any of these, please let me know in the comments section. I'll try to make sure that as I'm working on those reels that I do the video. If you have any questions about fishing reels in particular, either the ones I've shown you or ones that are just general questions, please leave them in the comment section as well. I'll try and give you an answer to those. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe. I can always use subscribers, and that'll keep you aware of all of the different reels that I'm working on over time. And finally, if you have a reel that needs to be repaired, well, you've seen a lot of folks mail reels into me for repair. I do them by mail. And if you have one and you're not up to repairing it yourself, then please contact me with the information on the end of this business card, and I'll be happy to share with you the repair information. So this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great week. Please stay safe. Follow all the rules and regulations. Wear those face masks. Keep your social distancing. We will get through this together. So thanks again for watching. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle.